Hello, everyone. This is Venom, and do forgive me. I am at this very late tonight, so I may yawn. I actually have gotten to this later than I meant to because my car actually overheated on the side of the highway today on the way back from the gym. So, luckily, I was in the car, my wife wasn't, so that was nice. I had to walk back home a couple miles from the shop, which is no big deal. But yeah, I am here a little bit later. Now, that being said, we have got a few things to talk about, and before we get into the details of it, I'm not even going to show that part yet. Before we get into the details of it, I was going to mention that I get a lot of backlash sometimes about some of the stuff that I predict or I talk about on the channel about any game. Now, some things I have been wrong about, some things I have been right about. I mean, I have definitely got some information wrong about some games, such as Helldivers 2. I got a couple facts wrong on it, and I made an apology video, or not an apology video, but I corrected some facts later on about it. One thing I don't like doing, and I will probably never do, is I don't delete videos. If I make a mistake in a video, I will keep it up just because I want, not because I'm trying to like brag or keep the information out there. If I have to make a correction, I will put that correction on that video. I'll put a link to a new video, but I don't want it to seem like I'm like hiding my mistakes. That's one thing that I guess is kind of iffy. I mean, if you make a huge mistake, you could delete the video. At the same time, I don't want people to think I'm hiding stuff, but in this case, it's not a mistake I made. There are oftentimes I'm quite correct about stuff, and I get a lot of backlash from videos sometimes, and other people might want to go ahead and delete their videos, or they might want to change things about it. I don't do that because I stick to what I say. And I made a video basically saying that I did not like the way that the episodic model looked. I did not like the way that it came out as far as how much content we got. I pretty much went through and I did the math, and basically if we're getting 3 weeks of content and 3 weeks of a break, if they continue that throughout the year with all 3 episodes, I basically said that means that for half the year we don't have any content. Now granted, I wasn't a huge fan of the seasonal model, but it did at least give us something every week for the most part. And I'd say we 3/4 of the year we had something in the pipeline, unless we had like a extended season like we did the last couple years, honestly. But overall, I think the episodic model was bad. I think we got less content for our money, and I think Bungie's agreeing because it seems to be a backlash. As you guys can see, we got this is Codename Frontiers. This is paving the way for the new Frontiers. Frontiers, of course, is the code name for 2025 Destiny 2, and you can see right here we've actually got a roadmap here. And it's actually got a seasonal model back in. We got like 4 seasonal here, or seasonal model, seasonal points here. Sorry, getting tired. I'm going to read through here, and we're going to see what it is that Bungie's pulling. Now, I don't know if this is coming from Bungie or from Sony, or whatever they're calling themselves now, Boney or Sunji, I don't know. Sony, as of course, as we know, apparently had more... we're more hands-on with Bungie than we were led to believe before. I can only imagine now that they're probably saying, "Hey, we don't like what it is you guys are doing. You're gonna unfuck this." Because keep in mind, Bungie was basically saying there were not going to be any more big expansions in the future. It was just going to basically be the episodic model. I was actually wondering if that was going to be a way, like if that was legitimate, like how are they going to make money doing that? I forgot that the episodes actually cost money, and that's just first world problems there. I usually buy the DLCs and get the season pass every year for $100, so I forgot seasons actually cost money, so that is one way outside the expansions that they were making money besides the Eververse. In my head, I was thinking they've only got the Eververse to make money. That's not going to work. I mean, hell, I'll let the game die myself if all they were going to do was charge us more for the Eververse or try to make that their only source of income. But I totally forgot that episodes and seasons, I'm just going to call them seasons because that's all it is, as seasons are also how they make their money as well. And it looks like after this first set of episodes, the 3 seasons that they're calling episodes this year, they're going back to the seasonal model. So let's get cracking here. This is paving the way for new frontiers. This is a Destiny 2 dev team. It says, today marks the 10-year anniversary of Destiny. By the way, I'm recording this on September 10th at 11, so by the time you guys get this, it'll be a day after. But, I'm sorry, 2 days after. But it says, today marks the 10-year anniversary of Destiny. We set out in 2014 to do something new and different for our studio. We conquered the Witness, looted dungeons, ascended to the Lighthouse, and more. Now we look to the future. We're plotting our course to the stars through codename Frontiers. We closed the door with the final shape, but we are opening a new one. A weird one, an exciting one, that takes Destiny to places it has never been. We're building this future now and are excited to share you a first glimpse of that today. And here we've actually got a roadmap. So what they're saying they're going to come out with now, instead of one big expansion a year, they're going to come out with two medium expansions. And in those expansions, they're going to have what they're calling updates. They're seasons. Let's call them what it is. They're seasons. So basically, two updates or two expansions per year, medium size, and two seasons per expansion. So we're going back to the 4 seasonal model, which again, while it does have its issues, I think better the W know, and I think seasons were. Again, still not great, but we'll see how they work out with what I think they're going to be doing with the expansions. And with Codename Frontier, I got some ideas of what direction they might be pushing in, but we're going to read all what they got here. So it says for the expansion, it says new stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids and dungeons. Honestly, any of this could be taken off of any blurb or any roadmap, so this really doesn't tell us anything. This just gives us the outline of what they're going to be doing and the timeline. So we got Codename Apollo. It's going to be summer 2025 and fall 2025 for the seasons. And then we got Codename Behemoth, which would be winter and spring of 2025. And of course, they got their seasons within there. So yeah, that's what the roadmap is looking like going forward. It's no longer going to be that little 3 episodes per year, which again I think got a lot more backlash, or they're finding out that it's just not working out that well. That's my theory, but I could be wrong. But let's continue on. It says this roadmap lays out our plan for year 11 and beyond with some exciting changes to our annual model. 2 expansions per year, 4 major updates of free content every year. So that one's interesting. It says 4 major updates of free content. So it's going to be the expansions are going to cost, which means they can basically charge twice a year versus once a year for major expansions. Now, the question is, are these expansions going to be the full $60 expansion price, or are they going to be like, $30 or $40? Now, if they're $30, okay, not a big deal, okay, makes sense. The updates, the seasons are going to be free. Now, that being said, are we still going to have the premium season pass like we have now? That's what my worry is. So we could still be going back to the regular, the season pass itself is what costs the extra money, but the season itself is free. That's likely what's going to be happening. Now, the 2 expansions per year, depending on the size of the expansion, I'd be willing to pay anything from $60 total for the year, I should say. We're getting 2 medium expansions. Now, by medium expansion, I don't know how much content's going to be in there. Depending on how big it is, I'll be willing to pay anything from, $20 to $40. It really depends on what Bungie's about to do with this, because I got some ideas that are going to do some kind of, I get to that here in a minute. Let's finish reading. Over the next few months, we will be sharing more info with you on Codename Frontiers, which is how we are describing many innovations coming to Destiny over the next few years, starting with our next expansion, Codename Apollo. We have several dev insight deep dives going live today, and we will continue to add more to this list over the weeks and months to come. Today, we also have Tyson Green, the game director for Destiny 2, and Allison Lures, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Destiny 2 native director, diving through some of our future plans for Destiny 2. Our goal is to be more transparent in our communication with you. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. One thing I do want to highlight here, we often hear from game companies that are going to be more... They're going to be talking to us more. We're going to hear from them more and more often. In fact, Destiny, or Bungie, I should say, has said that as well in the past, too. To me, that doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, we already get the This Week in Destiny, the twit. I still won't call it a twat. But, I mean, they already communicate with us every week. I don't see how they're going to communicate with us much more. And if something bad happens, they'll probably go radio silent. When they say they're going to communicate with us and be transparent, they're going to be transparent and communicate with us with the stuff they want to. I'm sure a lot of us want to talk to them and have some words about the, over 300 people they fired within the last year, but I doubt they're going to... I mean, they told us about it, but I doubt they're really going to communicate with us. They just told us about it. That's all we're going to get. So, again, that's the pessimistic part of me. I'm still sore about what's going on with Bungie right now, what's happened with Bungie. So I have not forgotten. Do not think I'm just being pessimistic. Just be pessimistic. We have a reason to be pessimistic at this point. This is ultimately this is your game 2. We want you to see more of how it's made and why. If you take away nothing else, it should be this. We're excited for Destiny to change and improve in ways that allow it to keep evolving in the future. Now, here is what I'm thinking. Again, before I even go the way, because I'm not read through all this yet, if I were to hazard a guess, with something called codename Frontiers, and them wanting to essentially expand on Destiny 2. I'm guessing we're going to be getting some kind of expanded gameplay. My guess is that the seasons are going to be involving, expanding the, last city, expanding our territory, going out and finding new places we can settle, or, taking on and discovering new things out in the world, probably on Earth and probably other planets as well. You might even do some kind of interplanetary, interstellar travel and do some discovery, kind of like how it looked like when the first the first bit of art came out for Destiny 1. Maybe not on planet Earth, but on other planets. That'd be kind of cool, going back to those roots. Now, I highly suspect we might be getting some kind of, not survival crafting, don't get me wrong, but more like a community project type thing where we have to like build up settlements or that kind of thing. Not necessarily a cut and dry story. I think there's going to still be story there, but I think it's going to be more of us actually building something together. Kind of like how we used to have the public events that were community events, the community events. I think it's going to be more like community seasons where, let's say, for example, Apollo is us going out and scouting out Mars and finding places for Kaido's Cabal to live, stuff like that, building up settlements, that kind of thing. That's why I'm kind of seeing it going in that direction. Now, how that's going to work with Destiny 2, I don't know, because it is still a first-person shooter. I don't suspect that's going anywhere, but what all can you do with the first-person shooter genre? I mean, you can put a lot of story and a lot of systems in place, but it's whether or not it's going to be good or not. But I'm starting to ramble. Let's continue on. Dev Insight Deep Dives. Below you will find a list of Dev Insight Deep Dives for various innovations coming with Codename Frontiers. We'll be building upon this section over the next few months of breakdowns of features and changes coming to Destiny. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We got activities, rewards, and the portal. So first off, we've got, here we go, core game activities. Yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a long video. So it says, Developer Insight Core Game Activities. Welcome to one of many Developer Insight articles for Codename Frontiers. Over the weeks and months to come, we'll be covering a lot of different topics, yada, yada, yada. Let's get right to the TLDR. It says, Core Game Activities feature a wider variety of new and updated activities across many types, with an updated selection every major update. Challenge customization will provide a way to adjust activity difficulty with better rewards for those seeking more challenge. And the new portal screen allows for quick access to core game activities, making it easier to find what you want to play. This is a problem in past Destiny releases. I'm not going to go through there. I did the TLDR. That's going to be... Or actually, no, let's look through it. We're not going to read the entire thing, but I do want to get a little overview here. So this is Frontiers Redacted. So this is Curator. What is this? The game core activities are those accessed from the new portal screen and are together a selection of several dozen new and updated activities that tie into current seasonal theme and gameplay. The selection is updated every major update and includes the current expansion and any running titles. Okay, so this is the early mock-up they got for it. I'm not going to go I'm already got the deep dive up. Challenge customization. Looks like this is... Okay, what is this? So this is Glassway. There's a challenge customization. This reminds me of the modifiers from Destiny 1. And look at these power levels here. What is this? This looks like it got ripped right from Destiny 1. What is this? No way, hold on. The major change to core activities is that they will all support deeper personal mastery and a corresponding yada yada yada. Did this come from D1? This looks like... Okay, so I know in Destiny 1 they had... It's been a long time, but I know they had Nightfall modifiers. Looks like it was taken right from Destiny 1 with the modifiers. This is kind of nuts. Okay, this could be pretty cool. So we could basically modify the challenges, and, the harder it is, I gotta suspect Grandmaster would give us the most rewards. That looks pretty crazy. Now we got reward awaiting. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Except Crucible. Crucible is a unique challenge because you cannot simply add challenge modifiers to use a score or the match as a team rating. Okay, so basically Crucible's not going to get this, which makes sense. Are old activities going away? No, except for some seasonal activities that are normally removed at the end of the year. Older activities will remain available to launch from the destination map, just as they are today. Over time, it is our intention to clean up and retire some older activity offerings that are well served by the portal, such as Vanguard Ops. These have lots of ties to existing content, though, and will need to be moved over gradually. Okay, so I still am hoping they come out with more older content they got rid of, but it looks like we're going to have some kind of scorecard or modifier card that we're going to be bringing back to Destiny 2. And on top of that, something else too, take a look at this. The power levels for these. This is back in the hundreds. Now our current power level is well over 2,000. This has got the power level back down at the beginning. So this makes me wonder if in Frontiers we're going to be getting a new reset power level or what's going on with that. They better not be getting rid of our Guardian and making us start over with a new Guardian or something stupid like that, you know, with like 0 power. I would hate that. But this looks like they might be redoing the power level, or maybe this is just for testing. I don't know. But that's interesting. What else we got here? This is Core Game Rewards. The TLDR, weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality across a wider range of activities. Core game activities will have decided reward pools for different categories of activities, and gear will be labeled new gear during the season it is introduced, and it's easier to recognize and build craft around. This is a problem in past Destiny seasons. Only a narrow range of activities received updated rewards, leading to a narrow selection of activities worth playing. That's true. These reward pools tended to not be very deep either, with most chance. Oh, I cannot talk. It's so late. With most chases bottoming out with weapon perk rolls, okay, true, and armor not mattering much at all. That I disagree on. A lot of the seasonal armor has been some of the best ways to get something high tier armor. Now, granted, it still is not going to be better than the Artifice armor you can get from dungeons, but that's a whole different thing. I still think you should be able to make that Artifice armor, or get Artifice armor from, say, raids, or I'm not saying you should get it from any other area, but if you can't get Artifice armor, the seasonal armor has been an excellent way to get that high stat armor. These problems have resulted in a shallow, unsatisfying grind in tiny subset of the activity, yada yada yada. So basically, grinding was a problem. As a solution, legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tiers that layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this would be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline. Hold on now. The baseline tier of legendary weapons and armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries, with higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrade. Okay. So there's more ways to get stronger weapons, it looks like. That's kind of what it's looking like. And see, right here, I can see we've got another 2,000 power level, so maybe that other power level thing I saw probably doesn't mean anything, but it's interesting. All of these look like they're... It says tier 5, and all these perks are adept perks, or not adept, or enhanced perks. Every one of them, not just the two, they're all enhanced. That's very crazy. Okay, so basically, what we got now looks like maybe tier 2. Looks like we're able to just enhance everything. That's gonna be cool. It's called Swordy, a scout rifle. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Reward pools are a complete set of weapons and armor that are available as rewards from one or more activities. Some weapons are shared across pools, but the majority of weapons and armor are unique to a single pool. Yada yada. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this. So, okay, we're going to be getting basically a new tier for weapons. That's cool. New gear will be a blanket category for all weapons and armor newly introduced to the current season. This is good for new players that don't know where to find new gear or how to tell if gear is new. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not going to go too much more than that, but that's not a bad change. What was the third one? The portal. Let's see, TLDR for this. The portal will offer several categories of activities, each with a wide selection of new and updated activities. Refresh every 3 months with each major update, so every season the portal is going to change. All activities in the portal will provide updated and worthwhile rewards, so it will be easy to find something to play. The destination map will be cleaned up and focused on world navigation. The destination map will be cleaned up and focused on world navigation and accessing older activities. Okay, solution portal screen will be the new default activity selection screen, replacing the current destination map. They just replaced the destination map with the final shape, and we're already getting a new one. So I don't know if there were just a lot of complaints about the one we currently got, or they just are continuously wanting to keep updating our experience. But I'll be honest, what we have right now in Destiny 2 is maybe not great. If you don't know, like right now, what they should just have is just one screen for all the raids. One screen for all the dungeons. I don't know how hard it is to do this. Now, I get having different planets, because each planet has, different locations you want to go to. So I get having all the planets on one screen. But if you don't know what planet to find a raid on, and it's not in the Legends tab, it can be a pain in the ass to find it if you don't know where you're looking. There should just be a tab for raids, a tab for strikes if you're looking for a certain strike. Go ahead and list the strikes on the planet too, but go ahead and give us a tab for the strikes, and give us a tab for the dungeons. That just lists those out. Don't make it to where you have to search the planets for them if you don't know where they're at. Again, I know where they're at, but sometimes I got a brain for it. Where's Water Glass? Obviously, I know where it's at. But the point is, for newer players, they may not know where to search for those things. Go ahead and put those tabs on there. That's what they need to have on there. This portal thing might be okay, but I'm not really too whatever about it. I don't really care. We just got a new setup, so we're already getting another one. So it is what it is. But give us those 3 tabs: a tab for strikes, dungeons, and raids. So those are the dev insights we've got so far. We'll be getting more later on. It says our vision for the future, and there's still a lot more to go here. This is from Tyson Green. It says, my name is Tyson, and I'm the game director for Destiny 2, and I'm excited to speak today about our team's vision for Destiny. First and foremost, we all still love Destiny. Yes, we do. And this is one thing people are always like, well, what are you complaining about it? Why are you still playing the game? You don't complain about games that you don't like. We complain about the game because we love the game. I love Destiny 2. I do not want to see it go away. I love the final shape. I was shocked to find out that it didn't sell as good as Lightfall did. I was legitimately shocked. But it is what it is. I still love Lightfall. I do. I love how the Light and Dark Saga ended. I am excited to see where Destiny 2 goes from here. I'm going to be sticking around. I know a lot of people are freaking out looking at other games too. I'm still looking at other games as well, but I notice a lot of big creators are like freaking out and looking at other games right now. It makes sense, but we're still going to be sticking here looking at Destiny 2, so don't think that's going away. Hopefully Bungie and Sony can not kill our game. Sorry, another rant here. It is a unique and challenging game, both for you and for us. I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years, and it still excites me creatively. There are not many games I could say that about. Tired, man. Tired. But at the same time, we recognize that it's become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger, but can still feel like you were just going through the motions. I agree. Granted, yeah, there's not too much replay value once you've done each of your characters through Legend. There's not much replay value on there. I get it, even doing the weekly missions, unless you're looking for particular items from it, then there's no point in doing it. We believe it's time for Destiny to change and evolve, and that our community wants this game to grow and innovate too, and to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds. Annual expansions, so we're going to start with that. So we're going to start with annual expansions. We've loved creating annual expansions and are especially proud of the final shape, but the truth is that they dominate almost all of our development effort. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate how we deliver Destiny 2 content, so we can invest in areas of the game that we feel are more so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of one big expansion, we're going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions. We talked about this, one every 6 months. Each of these would depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using, essentially unchanged since Shadowkeep, and each will be an opportunity to explore exciting new formats instead. Now, at one point in Destiny, take Forsaken, for example, okay? The campaign was not just a straightforward campaign. It wasn't just, do these 8 missions in a row, and the campaign's done. Yes, you had to go into the world and say farm certain enemies. You had to go out and find clues. Like when you had to take out the Barons, you had to find where the Baron's at. You had to do stuff out in the world. It wasn't just a straight shot. But once you did that, then you could go fight your Baron. So that's what I'm thinking they're going to be going back to. And yeah, I think even in Shadowkeep, technically speaking, yeah, they had a straightforward story. They still had stuff you had to do in between the missions. So we haven't had that in a while, and that's something I'm kind of excited to get back to. It wasn't just a straight linear story you could actually go through, and you had to do a bunch of other stuff to progress the story. I'd like that idea. We're excited to try new things that challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. We are actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metroidvanias, and even more unusual formats like roguelikes or survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try something different. So it sounds like with that, they're going to be throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, which I'm not necessarily against. As long as the core game is still fine, you still got your strikes, you still got your raids, you still got your dungeons, you still got your good gameplay, you got your excellent abilities and gunplay, and I am fine with them trying different game styles and trying different stuff with Destiny 2, and let's see what we can do with this game now. Departing from one-shot campaigns doesn't mean we are turning away from great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return the mystery and wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny when the story felt ripe with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are as important as ever in our creative vision, and Allison will touch on more of that below. So yeah, that is the one thing that I do kind of miss from the early Destiny days. I mean, there were a lot of secrets. Now, there's not really so many secrets. It's, we know what everything is. This is not like the early, Whisper of the Worm, or what it used to be called. I mean, this is where you could actually find actual secrets in the game that Bungie didn't tell us about, or you may not, be guaranteed to get this exotic from this mission, where they used to just kind of drop randomly. Or yeah, there were some that were static, but they were in secret missions, or there was actually stuff to find out in the world. Now everything is like, you kind of know what's going to be coming out each season. You know, there's going to be your story, they're going to have your regular content, you're going to have a whole suite of weapons and armor, and at some point there's going to be a guaranteed exotic that comes out with probably an exotic mission that's going to have a bunch of catalysts to it and some additional stuff every 3 months. It has gotten formulaic, unfortunately. Now, seasons. With the change to 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we will be building 4 major updates per year, 1 every 3 months. They're ditching the episodic model after 1 year. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of a season, and then a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including all the usual crap: activities, strikes, a lot of new features, basically the same blurbs you'd see on everything. A big seasonal reset will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions. Each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content, yada yada yada. So basically we're going to be doing 4 seasons and 2 expansions per year, instead of 3 seasons and no expansions currently, and 4 seasons and 1 major expansions every year before. So, the core game is Destiny. The core game is Destiny's always available evergreen activity experience, and we need to fix 2 things with it. Well, I'm going to add 3, because I doubt you're going to mention the third one. But approachability. First, Destiny is too complex. With literally hundreds of activities, you practically need a PhD to decide what to play and how to get rewards you're looking for. We're going to start to fix this by modernizing our activity UI, the director, to make it easier for everyone to find and launch integrated activities. We're reworking our reward model to make sure that all those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dive on activities and rewards go into more detail on these changes in particular. Gear and challenge should matter. Even great activities stop mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards aren't worth it. So we're investigating in a greatly improved challenge customization system to let players of any skill range find the right challenge level for them. Rewards that improve based on the challenge level you take on. These won't just be simple incoming damage increases either. The team is cooking up some great gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every turn. We will have a deep dive coming soon to show off some of these newer threats. Thank you. That is one thing that has bugged the crap out of me and other members of the community. Grandmaster right now is the hardest activities in Destiny 2, and at the time that they were released, one, you said the hardest thing or activities they've ever come out for PvE. However, all they did was ramp up how much damage you take and lower how much damage we do. It's not really that hard. It's just don't get hit and you're good. That's what Grandmasters are. Don't get me wrong. They're challenging. They can still be fun. But just making everything a bullet sponge isn't really hard to do. So I am interested to see what tools that they give the enemies to make it harder on us, besides just ramping up their damage and, curtailing ours. Yes, for the rewards, there'll be higher ones, yada yada. There's going to be more rewards or higher your activities. Now, they gave these 2 things. I'm going to go ahead and say that there's 4 things. Approachability and gear and challenging, they should matter, yes. However, for the approachability portion, 1, we're still missing too much gameplay. We're still missing all the Red War stuff. Having that stuff in the game right there would explain a lot of what's going on, because it's not just the gameplay that people are confused about, it's a damn story. Having the Red War and everything leading up to it subsequently will tell new players, hey, here's what the world's about, here's what's happening, here's why it should matter, and it gets you invested. That's something else that new players, even if you explain to them what's going on, they're not invested. One of the reasons I love my Final Fantasy 14 character so much is because I'm invested in that world. I put in years playing that game, I played through the entire story, and that's one of the reasons I'm so invested in it. Same here for Destiny 2. I've been playing since Destiny 1. I've uploaded all my 3 characters from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, like many of us have. I've had this character from the beginning. I've done every activity, all the raids, everything in Destiny 1, everything in Destiny 2. I've been with the game, I've been with the story, and now I'm invested in it. New players are not going to be invested in a story they're tossed into at the very end, and unfortunately that's not something that they're going to be able to fix unless they either A, give us all of our old activities back that they took away from us, or they may be able to fix that in Frontiers. We're past the Light and Dark now. I think what's more likely going to happen is they're going to start the new story with, Frontiers coming out, and we're going to be doing a new activity. We're going to be doing something where we're going out and exploring, and that's where new players are probably going to get their meat and potatoes at, and that's where they're going to have their solid input into the Destiny universe, which is not where I would like it to be. I would like them to be able to go back to the beginning and really play everything from the beginning and have that experience, but beggars can't be choosers. So, and then that just leads me right into, I mean, that combined with the new player experience, they go hand in hand. The new player experience has never been good with Destiny 2 ever since the Red War was taken away. So, give us back the Red War stuff, and if not, can increase or make the new player experience better. It's more likely just going to be Frontiers going to be the next input for new players to come in. If the final shape was a spot for people to stop playing Destiny 2 who wanted to get out of it, then Frontiers I think would be the spot for people who start playing the game for the first time. Yes, yeah, here we go. Next multi-year saga is going to be started with, I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling right now. The next multi-year saga starts with codename Apollo. Here we go. This is Allison. Hello, I'm Allison. I'm the D2 narrative director. I'm a fresh face of Bungie. I started doing narrative directions for seasons in fall 2022, and my first D2 expansion was the Final Shape. That's a hell of a one to start with. We're proud of the Final Shape and the ending we created for Light and Dark Saga, and we knew that the episodes that would follow act as an epilogue, tying up Light and Dark Saga's hanging threads, but also setting us up for what's next. The episodes close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones, storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what comes next. And what is next is our new saga. You'll see teasers of it in the later 2 episodes, so the next episode coming out, we see some teaser, and then fully kick off with codename Apollo. This next saga is based around a core theme, much like Light and Darkness did. They want to introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot here, or a lot more here, we will say eventually, but we don't want to spoil the journey for you. This will be a multi-year journey, one we can't wait to take you on. So it's going to be the next big saga going on. My guess is us finding our place in the universe, or there's going to be some new big threat that comes out. Probably a combination of both of them. I think us as, the Soul Collective, I think us, the Cabal, the Elixir, the Awoken, the Humans, the Guardians, I think all of us together are going to be trying to find our place, or either learning to work together, which we've kind of already done a bit, or getting past those growing pains and then pushing out into the universe, or even into our own solar system. So I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. What do we mean by Codename Apollo is non-linear? Excuse me. Previously, in stories like The Final Shape, you experience a story as A to B to C to D, yep. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads you explore and discover. So when you land on our brand new location, the story starts at A, and then you can choose if you want to explore C first, try and get into B, or maybe investigate D. And the options you didn't choose, don't worry, those other options are still open for you to go back and play through. You'll need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses, so experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way that the story makes sense and flows from beginning to middle to end. There's no time gating. Yeah. Well, that's for the expansion, not necessarily for the updates. There's no time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo story unfolds based on player progression. So again, this sounds a lot like Forsaken to me. This sounds a lot like Forsaken, which I am all for, but that's what it's sounding like. And as we're going through, I'm also seeing a lot of art here. I don't know if this has got anything to do with Apollo, but we do see a lot of darker themes. We see this crazy-looking ship here. This looks like it could easily be on Earth and the Cosmodrome, and there's, I would almost say that's some sort of alien squid machine or monster, but I can't quite tell that's technical or biological, or it looks like a combination. We see something similar down here. I could almost say that damn near looks like a hive. Well, no, not quite. This is a bit more melee. I can't tell. We see more of these little floating balloon things here. So there's definitely some kind of theme. Don't know what it is yet, but this might be, I don't know if it's just random crap that they had as far as art, or if this is actually going to be something that's in Apollo. We'll find out. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses, so experiencing a certain number of threads. Okay, no, I did that already. I read that. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. I agree. The shift to non-linear story isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but it's a structure that fits Codename Apollo best. The narrative structure of the release that follow would be quite different, a structure to suit that game's experience, and we want to continue to innovate with each expansion across both gameplay and narrative. And finally it says, in the unknown, this all sounds like a big change, and it is because that's where the rhyme yada yada. Okay, so basically this is just more talking about Apollo, how it's going to be sort of different. So, long story short, go ahead and check out the Codename Frontiers here on Destiny or on Bungie.net. Now, how do I feel about this? I feel like right now Right, if I had to hazard a guess, I think Bungie came out and said, you know, we're not going to be doing any more big expansions. We're going to be doing 3 episodes a year. I think they got a lot of pushback on it. I think that Sony was like, no, we don't want to do that. It's going to kill the game. I think they know the expansions and the seasons are where they were going to be making real money. I think they want this. They want this investment to work out, and the best way to do that is to try to get people what they want a bit. But they also know that I don't think there was actually any plans, any real plans for Frontiers, or what plans were there probably weren't ones that Sony agreed with. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure some of this is already in place already. But I mean, the fact that we went from a year of episodes, 3 episodes, to already going back to the seasonal model and getting expansions again. Granted, not big expansions every year, but 2 medium-sized expansions, that sounds pretty good. I'd be probably, if they're good-sized expansions, like let's say they're, but don't get me wrong, I think the 2 expansions per year might be better than the seasonal or than the yearly model, because all the yearly model is when you think about it, it's like 8 story quests and then a raid. That's technically speaking what the expansions are. Now, granted, you usually get a bunch of stuff with that, but I'm going to be curious to compare the smaller expansions with the big ones. But I think that someone higher up said this is not going to work, and that's why we're back to the expansions and to the seasons already. I mean, again, we're not even out of the first episode already, and they've already dropped the episodic model. That's what it is. I think that's something that Sony came out and said, hey, we want this to work out. Go back to what's going to make us money. Because I really don't think they were going to make enough money just doing the episodic model. I don't think episodes plus Eververse is going to be enough. They have to bring back expansions because, if I'm not mistaken, that's where they were making most of their money. So, we'll see. I am curious to see how everything works out. I am excited for Frontiers. Now, I am also excited for the rest of the year as well, too. I was not necessarily really excited about this first episode, this one, the Vex. I really don't care about that one, but I am definitely excited about the Vampire Hunter one that we're going to be getting here soon, and I think we're all excited, whether you were upset with Final Shape or not. I think most people were happy with it, but I think every D1 player, at least, is excited to see Heretic later on in the year when we go back to the Dreadnought. That's one, like I said, I think they knew what they were doing. And something else that they talked about, too, that we just found out, they're going to be bringing back the Icebreaker in a future update. We'll talk about that one in another video. I have Hex on to talk about that one, but I think they purposely set it up to where the episode we want the most is going to be at the end of the year to try to get us hooked to come back. And I think that right now Bungie knows that they're kind of screwed, or maybe Sony's like, okay, you guys are you're gonna unscrew yourself. So I think they hit there's jokes going around on every video saying Bungie hit the break in case or emergency glass and out popped the Icebreaker. And I think that kind of planning, I think it's true. And I think the fact that Heretics at the end of the year is also kind of lends to that too. So I think that's what's going on right now. Hopefully everything works out. Right now, Bungie's and Destiny 2's future is uncertain. I mean, that I would be remiss to say anything else, but I am hopeful. And just because I'm hopeful does not mean I'm going to place some eggs in one basket. I am still playing other games. I'm just doing what I can with the time I've got right now. And here the last week or so, I've been just kind of relaxing, playing Minecraft with the wife and some friends. I will be back making full-time content here soon, but there's too much very good and important information coming out for me to go without making these videos to let you guys know what's going on. So that is going to do it for me today, guys. Again, thank you for coming by. Please like the video if you like what we're doing here. Please, if you love what we're doing, please sub to the channel, and I will see you all on the next video.